So, understanding FINTRAC compliance as the standard of professional practice. So, this is what we'll be discussing today, and I would love your feedback. Some of us who have been in the business, for some time, to again share what they have seen happen over the time, and any input that they would like to share. Okay? So, let's get into FINTRAC. Like, what is FinTrack? Let me ask you guys. Anybody knows? I know Harold, you would know. Anybody other than Harold? Anybody else? You guys know what FinTrack is? Have you heard this name before? Is it a game?
Yes.
Okay. What is it, Mega? Would you like sharing a little bit? Like what is it, and have you heard it like on
Yeah. So, I mean, even when we do the study for real estate, they make it
yes.
a significant chapter. It's most likely like Financial Transaction Report Analysis Center of Canada, which is required not just for real estate. I believe it's for like literally every other aspect of business, which
Yeah.
involves dealing with money. For us real estate people, it becomes very important because we are dealing with huge sum of money, and it just makes sure that we are not dealing with people who are doing money laundering or people with shady past. So it's just a way to ensure that we have done our due diligence and made sure that the person we are working with is you know a good person in terms of financial situation.
Okay, great. Yes, that's exactly what it is. So it's a financial intelligence unit by and it was, I think it was established in 2002 or 2000, and it's an intelligence unit of Canada tracking financial crimes and financial transactions that shouldn't be happening because the money is coming from sources that are not right sources, right? The terrorist financing, money moving in. So, government of Canada wants its citizens, like as its citizens and people living here, we sh- we can tip them off. We can let them know, hey, this is what's happening. I think this is suspicious, right? So again, they're on top of the things anyways, but they want us to help them like along the way and help, you know, uh, just help them flag it that, hey, look, something's off about this one. And this helps not only, again, a little bit off topic, this helps not only the government, right, identifying that, okay, money's coming in, but it also helps you because if someone has, right, if you're their realtor, right, and you're working with somebody who's wanted in a in a different country on financial crimes, and you're working with them, you're helping them, you're part of the you know, you're part of the parcel now. You have helped them commit crime or use that money and launder it, right? So you guys don't want to be part of that. We have to, again, notify the government as soon as we find out that, hey, something's off or this is suspicious, right? And you don't want to be dealing with that headache, right? So FinTrack compliance, why does it matter? Regulation to prevent fraud, money laundering, and suspicious transactions, right? A lot of times, some of us, again, we have really strong beliefs that, okay, we work for charities, again, helping women in crisis, helping this. A lot of times, the money that's coming from is coming from terrorist financing, sex trafficking, right? So it's not only that it's wrong financially, it's also wrong on a lot of other levels too, right? This money is coming from somebody suffering, right? Or something bad happening, and that's coming into the country and it's becoming clean, right? And you're part of it. So it's also wrong in that aspect too. Like I don't want to be part of something, no matter how much money somebody offers me. I wouldn't want to be part of something if I know that this person, that's how they gain the money and then they're offering me something and this is what we can do. No, right? For me, these things are like I don't want to help somebody clean their money, right? Ever, right? And that's because, again, financially, yes, it's not right to work with these individuals, but at the same time, if you if you have strong beliefs about certain things, then you don't want that. you don't want to help them because in a way you've helped somebody, you know, and you're part of the crime. In my mind, if you're helping, with money laundering and suspicious activities, you have become part of that whole network, and everybody that suffered now it falls on your shoulders, right? So that's another thing on top of the FINTRAC compliance, right? So I avoid it. I actually hate it if I find out the money is gained from um, not legitimate source. I actually don't want to work with that person, right? Even if they can prove and I can show everything, I choose not to work with them, right? And I'll most likely flag them. And I have flagged people, right? And that's what we have to do. And coming back to the FinTrack compliance, non-compliance can result in financial penalties and reputational risk, right? So financial penalties. If FinTrack finds out that you did not check off the thing, you did not collect all the documents, you were not doing your due diligence that you're supposed to do, right? Not only do you get financial penalties, there could be a big article that, hey, this person was, helped this person and this was their realtor. You don't want to be part of that. We're told that any publicity is good publicity, not this one, right? You don't want to be part of a big scam that uncovers, and then they say, oh, they bought these 4 or 5 properties through this realtor, right? And it's a big news that impacts your reputation, right? And again, FinTrack, very, very serious thing. It's not some kind of joke. It's not like, oh, whatever, they won't check. No, they'll check. And they can do an audit too for brokerage and for you if they find inconsistencies. Right? So we never want to have that audit. And the way they'll do audit is if they see, okay, these guys are not filling out these things, right? And their things are not making sense, whatever we're filling out, right? So again, with the help of AI and other resources that they have, they can easily see if someone's just clicking check, 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 right? Proper compliance protects both clients and real estate professionals, right? Sometimes you meet clients, high net worth individuals from different countries, and maybe that they're not doing anything wrong, but you have to, you still have to follow the process, right? So it also protects them. So the way FinTrack can protect them is you don't want to flag them, right? If you don't know, like, oh, I never got this, let's just flag them suspicious or never got this. If we follow all the protocol for FinTrack, then you can get their IDs. Maybe they have different IDs. There's always alternative that you can ask for IDs and other things. So make sure you do that. There's no point of flagging people just because you don't know, and no point of leaving things and saying, let's just leave this blank, right? Because we also, as a brokerage, we're responsible for making sure that all of the agents are following FinTrack compliance. They're very strict on us, right? As even more than RICO. So we have to then again be a little bit strict with all the agents, right, who are working and doing deals, because we want you to do deals, but we also want you to protect yourself and your clients. Your clients don't want to get a call from FinTrack, right, and say, hey, we there was some inconsistency, this. Of course, they're not going to say the realtor flagged you, but again, if we follow proper protocol, none of this happens and everybody's good, everybody's safe. Right? Moving on. So key FinTrack requirements in real estate. You have to first verify your client's identity through accurate and up-to-date documentation. So again, you have to make sure that ID is not expired, right? You have to make sure that IDs, you have to, see them. Don't get a copy of their ID. See them, meet with them. I hope we all, I'm doing this, not just getting a copy. Send me a copy. Send me, a fax or send me, take a picture and send it to me. No, you have to ID them, and you have to have the full ID, not just the front or not just the back of an ID. Full ID, right? And you have to make sure the documents, that it's not inconsistent. They're saying, "Oh, we live here," but their ID is from a different province, and They're saying, oh, I don't have a passport, I have this, right? So make sure you're documenting everything and you have up-to-date, accurate IDs, right? Outdated IDs are not accepted. Office will not accept it, and FINTRAC will not accept it. You can't give somebody's ID that expired last year and say, oh, yeah, that's my client. They never renewed their license. Maintain transaction records and reporting obligation. So we have to maintain records for 7+ years, right? Same with you guys too, right? So again, none of this gets disappeared. It's not that the deal's done, see you later, everything's good, we got paid. No, all of this stays, and then FinTrack can also go back in time and find things and then say, hey, surprise, I found this with this agent and this, right? And we don't want to deal with that. So it doesn't just disappear. We have to keep it for the 7+ years, right? And it stays. And you guys should keep your electronic files to all the deals you're doing, FinTrack stuff. I have all of my last 5, 10 years file. Again, I don't need it, but for us, electronically, it's a lot easier to save. Recognize and document unusual and suspicious transaction activity. So let me ask you guys, what do you guys think would be unusual and suspicious transaction activity? Any example? How would you know it's unusual or suspicious? What would they do?
I would say when they refuse to give their IDs, or like they don't want to share like the things that we are asking them. A lot of people only want to share um their previous IDs, and they'll be like, oh, we don't have their other ID, or even the income. Like, I think I haven't really dealt with it, but I feel like if like they have a lot of money, and you see that their income is not consistent with the amount of saving they have, we should make sure that the money that they're putting down, if it's a gift, we should have the gift certificate, see the gift certificate, and those kind of things, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Again, some of the examples from my experience, what I would tell you, because I've dealt with a lot of people, they'd say, hey, I'm helping my brother, right? The transaction's under his name, but I'm doing everything. Okay, right? And my brother's out in wherever, right? Out in the Middle East somewhere, or who knows, China, Russia, right? Like, okay, that's suspicious. I I cannot, how would you sign? They're like, oh yeah, yeah, I have this, I have the power of attorney. And then when you ask for a copy, they don't have it. Right? So it's automatically a red flag that the buyer is not buying, it's somebody else. Right? Other things are they may offer you cash incentive. They'll say, hey, look, I'll give you $25,000. I'm paying all cash. I'm looking for a buyer, I'm looking for a seller, private deal. Again, this should already raise some red flags. Why are they buying all cash? Not that they can't. People can buy. I've seen people buy all cash all the time. But their money's in the bank, right? And they're not saying, oh, I'm transferring it and then I'm going to put all cash on the day of closing. And then they're offering you that, oh, I'll pay you the commission on top, right? These things are suspicious. You haven't met them. They're not willing to sit down with you, right? They're saying, oh, I can do an online call. And the call, they don't turn on the camera, or they can do a phone call. So again, you can already see they're not real people. They're not meeting with you. They're making unusual requests that's not normal, and they're trying to bypass the system in a way, right? Or they're trying to say, "Hey, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this kind of work." Again, suspicious. I would recommend not even working with them, right? But if they do end up meeting with you and you still find it suspicious, just fill out the FinTrack. Like you don't have to work with them. Just look at their ID, fill out the FinTrack, send it to us. Right? We can still make sure that we can properly review it. But again, I would recommend not working with um, these kind of clients because there will be trouble at every angle. Cool. Any questions? Anything so far that we've discussed?
I was just going to mention about the
Yes.
cash deposits on with an offer. Instead of bank draft, they want to make their deposit in cash, and they may
Yeah.
want to make their deposit in cash larger than the deposit required. That's suspicious as well.
And then they can back out. You're right.
Yep. Yep.
Their money has been laundered. That's like the easiest way. And put 50,000 or 100,000. Oh, I'll do 100,000 deposit. Right? And they back out. They're not going through the thing. You write them the check that goes into their thing. Or the check comes from a different source and somebody else's name on it. Right? And it's a big amount. And you're like, okay, where's this money coming from? Maybe they paid that person some money in cash. They have a Canadian bank account. They're writing the check. They're like, wait a second, this is not the buyer. Money came from a different person's account altogether. They're not even related. And it's not a gift. So there's a lot of ways people try to manipulate the system. And we have to keep our eyes open and make sure we're following the required steps. Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Harold. You're right. A lot of these things people play around with. And even when, let's say they put in 100,000 and then after a week of due diligence, oh no, it's not for us. We write them a check. The check goes from the one bank to another bank to us, then the company. And now it's become a clean money for people, right? We don't want that. Most of these people are criminals and they've gained their money by screwing somebody over. Like, why would you want to help them? But yeah, be careful about these things. They could be Canadian citizens buying, but like Harold mentioned, the deposit will come from a different source, right? So we have to be careful about these things, and we have to make sure that we follow FINTRAC. So what we'll do is we'll have an in-person session soon on FINTRAC where we'll go over filling out one of the like a dummy FINTRAC file for a client, right? And that would be a good session for all of us to learn. That would be held in person, not on Zoom. This is just going over some of the key requirements and why FINTRAC and what it does and why it impacts us. Right? So moving on, compliance as a professional standard, right? So consistent documentation reduces legal and regulatory risk. As you guys are building your career, right, you're gaining momentum, getting listings, soon you'll start doing deals, then you'll start doing more deals, then you'll start doing 3, 4, 5 deals a month, 10 deals a month, right? And in the next 5 years, you'll be at a really different spot. But along the way, if you've cut corners and that can come back and bite you after 5 years. So there's no point of leaving that door open and saying, oh yeah, I'll deal with it when it comes. Because now you're at a really good spot, but you've been hit with an audit. And there's some legal problems, right? Who knows? Maybe something went wrong in a deal that you've done and they're suing people and now the FINTRAC's involved. You have to be out of this, right? In real estate, your only focus has to be selling homes, helping people, and doing a good job. When you get into legal trouble and regulatory trouble, that's going to throw you off of your game. Strong due diligence builds trust and professional credibility. A lot of times, clients don't know. They're like, oh, well, what is this? Why are you asking? Then you tell them, look, not only is this part of my process at the brokerage, it's actually my duty to make sure I'm doing everything by the book and I'm protecting you, my company, and following and doing things that I'm required to do. Right? So a lot of people will like, oh wow, this person's professional. The other guy never asked us anything. Right? So it builds professional credibility. This is something that will be built over time, 5 to 10 years. You're not going to see this in one go and say, oh, I did this, but that guy never sent me a referral. You have to keep doing this, and then people eventually say that, hey, you know what? I've tried the other guy. I'm not going to go back. I'm going to go to this person because, yeah, they're strict, but they're doing everything by the book. Proactive compliance protects transaction integrity from start to finish. So what that means is if you're already proactive, You don't have to spend time, effort, and do tons of showings, negotiate a really good deal, and then find out your client saying, I'm paying all cash, right? Here's the briefcase full of $1 million. You don't want that, right? And then you're like, oh, how do we process this? And then all of your time and effort has gone to waste. And then eventually you had to say no to the client, right? So it's very crucial to ID the clients as soon as you meet them, make sure that they're open to it, and then show them, tell them that, look, this is done as a precautionary thing. Otherwise, I can get fined, my company can get fined, and I can be in a big trouble if I miss these steps. So this is done with not just with you, but this is part of the process of buying your first house or investing and doing anything. So let's start with the paperwork one by one, right? Cool. Any questions on this or any feedback or anything anybody would
Yes.
like to add? Okay, and so that's it for today's session.